This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena, the ladder has reset. We're back down to platinum, and it's all about racing back up to Mythic, if that is your cup of tea and you enjoy that battle and that climb. And so for the next few days, I'm going to focus on decks that I think are the best for climbing Mythic for this season. I've got 5 of them that I think stand out, and while they don't usually match my playstyle, quite frankly, Aggro is usually the best in best of one because it's very hard to answer them and they get to just curve out and smash things without the versatile cards coming out of the sideboard to hose them. Even though these cards aren't quite my playstyle, it's not really about that. One thing about Magic that's interesting is that you need to understand your enemy and you need to understand their strengths and weaknesses. And there are 2 ways to do that. Number 1, you can play the deck, which I'm going to do. Number 2, you can watch somebody play the deck, which you are doing right now. So good job. You're taking your first steps. The deck that I recommend the most to climb ladder right now actually doesn't have any new cards, but sits in the perfect metagame spot. And that is Mono White Life Gain Aggro. Yep, no new cards. None of them. The 2/4 that like gives your team +2/2, the Righteous Valkyrie, nah. Not good enough, not as good as the other 3 drops in the deck, so that gets cut. Just a smooth sailing list of Mono White Life Gain. And I'll talk about why it's perfect in the meta in a moment, but you can see we've got 22 lands, we've got a lot of 3 drops, some 2 drops, and a lot of 1 drops, and that is it. That is the deck. So why is this perfect in the meta? Let's check out MTG Assistant. Link to download this for free in the description, by the way. And you can check out your best of 1 metagame here. Look what's back on top. You guessed it. All it took was a pro saying mono red was good, which LSV did and played in a recent weekend. Got slaughtered, by the way. His whole team playing mono red got slaughtered. Doesn't matter. The mono red mages, they just need someone to tell them it's time, and they will play the new list of mono red. And the snow mono red deck is very good. But there it is. Mono red is back at the top of the meta with a 59% win rate. And right there, right underneath it, is mono white life gain. And here's a different mono white. They're both called mono white life, but I think that you're going to be able to tell that one mono white is not the same as the other mono white. We'll get into the differences between the mono white decks really quick. Then we have Dimir, which is rogues, and we have Yorion, and we have Gruul, etc., etc. So one thing about this, Yorion decks are never well enough represented. So if you're a Yorion player like me, download MTG Assistant, link in the description. Supports the channel, totally free, because we need more Yorion players to keep track of their win rates. For some reason, these aggro tryhards always track their win rates really hard. Like, it's really important to know how much they win when they curve out with mono red. Anyway, jokes aside, why is this the right deck and why is this the right build? A few weeks ago, I played, I think the video was called Godlike White, which ran Halvar to give you double strike with your Maul of the Skyclaves, and ran Usher of the Fallen. And we showed off a version where I said Speaker of the Heavens like dialed you into playing one way, which wasn't good against removal. At the time, the Yorion Sultai Ultimatum decks were the #1 thing in the meta. Right now they're on the decline because they're getting beat up really well by the mono white deck, which has Redain and Faceless Haven, and those cards just totally dumpster, just destroy that Yorion deck. So that deck is on the decline. So what's rising up is the mono white Faceless Haven deck and the mono red Faceless Haven deck. Those decks are doing very well, and of course rogues, which is always highly played in best of 1. The reason this build is right for right now is because the life gain just totally beats up the mono red deck. The matchup with the mono white deck, you just go bigger. You have like this Heliod Linden combo along with life gain, and they can't kill you. You just get bigger than all of their creatures, and their Sky Mauls and their Faceless Havens don't do anything because your creatures become massive and they don't have that much removal. Not removal that you can't stop. Selfless Savior beats the mono white deck's Giant Killer, and Hushbringer The main reason Hushbringer is in the deck, and a big reason this card is absent from the deck, is to beat Skyclave Apparition, which is very popular in the mono white deck. And it is their primary source of removal. So if they can't giant killer your creature, and their Skyclave Apparitions don't work because of Hushbringer, they can't beat your big creatures. They can't break up your Luris synergy. They can't stop you from putting a million counters on your Hushbringer or your Speaker of the Heavens with the Heliod Linden combo, which gains a ton of life. They just can't stop it. So that's why I'm going with what I'm going with. Now, I ran a version of this, I think in December with the Moth, and it still is pretty popular, and the Moth is pretty good, but I ended up cutting it from the deck because Extinction Event and Shadow's Verdict and other exile effects are the only things you really fear, and the Moth just seemed like extra, and I didn't feel like I needed it. That's the truth. If you still want to run Luminous Broodmoth in the deck, I don't think that's crazy, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that this mix of cards gets the job done, for sure. So, with Mono Red getting beaten up, with the Snow White, I guess you would call it, with that deck being something that you can beat up, and with Rogues always having a problem with the quick white aggressive strategies with indestructibility from things like Selfless Savior, the hardest matchup here is Yorion. And that's because their Shadow's Verdicts and Extinction Events will still get you. And your deck might not be fast enough if you don't draw Linden and Heliod together. So this deck is built with the assumption that the meta share of Sultai Ultimatum Yorion is on the way down because of how badly it gets beaten by Mono Red and Snow White. And with Mono Red and Snow White becoming popular, this can run them over. I think I've explained why I think this is the right ladder deck for right now. So we're going to go in, we're going to play it, we're going to rank up. Now, thank you very much to the last 3 members. We've got to do our dedication. And the last 3 members who signed up, thank you so much. Camden Bear, Jeremy George, and Edward Bitodasso. Thank you very much to everybody who's joined and become a member. I'm going to try to mention 3, max of 3, because I'm realizing so many people are going unmentioned. I'd mention you all, but it takes time. Anyway. Let's get a cosmetic in your honor, and I think Hushbringer's time has come because shutting down Skyclave Apparition, let's just say it's going to be sweet. So, thank you so much. Please join, become a member below, join the Cool Kids Club. And now let's dive in and let the mono white life nonsense begin. Going second, no 1-drop, but we do have 2 Luminarch Aspirants, which is one of the snowbally cards that can pull us out of that. And we get mono red, and we get a 1-drop. Okay, it's on. It is on. We need to not draw any more lands, though. That's asking a lot. What you gonna do, Fireblade Charger? I'll take that, because once we have a Hushbringer down... Interesting. Let's see if the opponent's ready to deal with the Aspirant. It looks like they have a removal spell. Not yet, but they probably have a Rimrock Knight because something's holding priority, and they would have used a Frostbite if they had it, so they have a Rimrock Knight, so we don't want to attack into the champion. Yep, no blocks yet. Still not using the Rimrock Knight, so they have Annex here, maybe? Another Charger. Oh, and then they hardcast the Rimrock Knight. All right, so we play Hushbringer. Shuts down the Fireblade Charger's death ability. Let's start putting counters on it. Let's get in there. See if the opponent knows how Hushbringer and Fireblade Charger work. Yeah, they know. All right, a little bit of life. Say go. I'm ready for the Embercleave. Kind of. Just you two? Interesting. So again, it's like Embercleave, right? So we block here. The opponent cleaves. We sack the bounty for pro red. We kill the Rimrock Knight. The opponent gets a free equip out of the deal. And then we try to build up Hushbringer Angel. It's like a Baneslayer Angel, but it's a Hushbringer. See how we go big? And then, do we play you? The opponent will eventually play something that is larger, and they'll try to put the Embercleave on that, so let's hold this card. So this can get a boost. It can actually win the fight with the help of the Castle Embra, so we're not blocking, so let's attack. Call me angry. I am angry. Huh. No attacks with the Chargers. Weird. Do I have to giant kill my own Hushbringer? If they cleave it, yes. Man, I wish I played this last turn. I could just tap it for a little while and get it back. Now I don't feel like I have a choice. Nice land draw, by the way. Let's start making a big Aspirant. Say go. Next turn, these have to attack. Opponent with the Annex, which we have to kill while the Hushbringer's on the field. Another Fervent Champion. Man, we got mistreated by this one Akroan war. But we didn't get Embercleave, did we? Oh yes, we did. Never mind. Never mind. No attacks from the Hushbringer. Man, we might get it back. Weird. Oh wait, right now dying doesn't get them anything. Yep, because of the Hushbringer. So take that out too. These have to attack, so the opponent will gain a little bit of life. I may as well play this. But the Hushbringer is not going to die, which I think is a big oops on their part. Now, since our Luminarchs are going to attack anyway, let's put the counters on the Linden or the Giant Killer. Giant Killer's pretty good. A little bit of life. Now, if the opponent uses Castle Embereth in response to the trigger... No, the Hushbringer's still untapped. I get it back. Gimme. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, play opponent. I guess there's a downside to the war in a deck that doesn't sacrifice. We might get our creature back. Fervent Champion wants to rumble, but we don't want to give up the Hushbringer. We don't want to give up anything. I guess we could use the killer, but no, let's just take it. Let's take it. We'll gain all that back. We don't need that. And now our killer can just tap the Embercleaved creature. Oh, oh baby. Oh, what do we got down there? Oh, what do we got down here? Oh yes. That's pretty good. Life total repaired. Life total repaired with the value engine and the protection. Mono red. What have you done? What have you done? Robber of the rich. Fervent champion. This is all that they know. Tap your Embercleave. No attacks. All right. So they have a reach creature. Can we find a lethal? You know, if I had Alseeded... No, we don't have enough. We don't have a Heliod, so no, it wasn't lethal. But what do we want to attack with? think we're going to use the protection here. Do we want to use the Giant Killer to keep the Embercleave shut down, or do we want to force a block? All right, get him. Oh, they don't like blocking. There's something I know about Mono Red. They hate blocking. Urgh, no blocking. Islands. I'm a big fan of islands. Yorion. But we're on the play. This hand has Heliod and 2 lifelinkers, so it's reasonably aggressive. One of the hands you look for. They'll probably kill a lot of stuff, though. So I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll give it a try. Hush, hush, thought I heard you calling my name now. Musical moments. You can tell I'm feeling the deck. All right, that's a slow start, buddy. That's a slow start. I think it's better to get this down than the Sky Maul because it applies, you know, more damage to the future. It's possible I should have built up the Hushbringer to survive an Elspeth's Nightmare. I might have some regrets there. Told ya. Would have rather had the Hushbringer stick around. That's a good draw. It does get us dead to Shadow's Verdict really well, though. Where this does not. And this goes away to the Nightmare, so this is the play. This is a good question. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this does not turn on Heliod, so we're going to play it. I don't want the Heliod to die to a Elspeth's Nightmare or a Shadow's Verdict. The opponent wants to kill this one, so we'll put the counter over here. It also makes both immune to Heartless Act. And next turn, this turns Heliod on. So the opponent will blow up one thing. And then they'll take another big hit. And we hope they don't have Shadow's Verdict, because that would be nasty. Although, if they do, we can turn off the Heliod. No, we can't. We have 1 mana too many, I think. Or 1, make this immune to Heartless Act. We have 1 devotion too many. Yeah, sacrificing the Alseid won't turn it off. This is where you wish you drew one of the 4 castles, so we have something to do if they sweep our board. But no, it's Yorion! Yorion? Yorion? I love the Sky Noodle. I don't want to hurt the Sky Noodle. I don't want to hurt the Sky Noodle. Ooh! Ooh, baby! Not that we even needed it. Dead on board. So, the white deck can still muster up enough aggression if we dodge the sweepers. And it is an 80-card deck. So that's totally a thing that we can do. We see that their Foretold card was an All-Runs Epiphany. On the play, look at this hand. Oh my goodness. I think if I could stack my deck, this would be a Selfless Savior, but everything else would be the same. Just because it doesn't cost mana to use it, and sometimes holding up mana with this deck is hard. Ah, yeah. Let's go. I feel like Speaker is supposed to welcome them to the church with a hello, like that's flavorful somehow here. Kazandu Valley. All right, Bone Crusher Giant possibly on the way. I wonder if that's a good enough reason to play the Alseid there. You know, I wish I'd played the Alseid there, but it looks like we get away with it because of Brushfire Elemental. Heliod! Oh, you're in trouble. Oh, you're in trouble. You're big trouble. Let's go, Brushfire. I'm ready. This church is lit. The congregation's going wild. I don't know. I spent my whole life, they say never to talk about religion too much, but I went to a very, I would call it chill church, where people sang their hymns very, you know, just kind of even-keeled. The first time I ever went to a Baptist church, oh my goodness, it was wild. There's people like running up and down in the aisle and like going crazy. It was epic. It's like they do that every Sunday. It's exciting. Go over here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Eh? Yeah? We're at 21. This doesn't get us to 26. Maybe I'm supposed to leave you back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the opponent blocks, I sacrifice the Alcide. I protect the speaker, I lose the Heliod anyway. All right. Then yeah, we rumble. Yeah, the opponent has to chump with their beast. We go up to 20. Oh, they didn't chump. Maniac. Down to 4. Do you surrender? Yes, you do. Ah, I don't get to go first. Hand would have been so good. Hand's okay. We need the opponent to stumble a little, or else we might just end up playing 2 creatures and a Heliod and doing nothing. Mono red. All right, let's go. Think we lead with the dog. We need to protect this critter. It's our only life source, and we're drawing land, and we have 2 Heliods, which isn't good because they have no way to remove the first one. Frostbite, well, it's not a Bone Crusher Giant. Ungod. The problem is, they might play an Annex, and then we can't even really attack. I don't know how we attack without the dog. All right, they just drew that, or they would have played it on end step. Are you attacking with both? You shouldn't. You should attack with 1. And then let's see, if you leave back the Fervent Champion, you do get blown out if I have a Luminarch Aspirant, so maybe they're thinking about that. But Mono Red doesn't usually know how to not attack when they have Fervent Champion, Rob, or Of the Rich. Yeah, especially when you get a card from... You really don't want to do that. Okay, they did it. Oh, and they got a land off the top of my deck. You love to see it. You love to see it. All right, Heliod. Let's go. We got to get this Heliod turned on. So we have to draw a Linden. We have to draw more removal from the opponent. Phoenix of Ash. Okay, could be worse. Could be worse. They're going to rob me. Please don't rob anything good. Yay, another land. You're really helping me out here. I appreciate you. So do they have a Rimrock Knight? Let's set up the Alcide. How am I drawing so many land? This is so stupid. What you got? Nice. Getting bigger. Getting strong now. Won't be long now. Torbrand, yes, good. Oh, that's nice. All right, their hand is on the table. Do they know how to stop attacking? Right now, all signs point to no. Another land. This deck is insane. All right. Block, sack, protect, make it red, kill the robber, gain 3 life. Put another counter. Oh, my speaker is on a solo mission today, boys and girls. There's no way they'll block with the Torbrand, will they? Will they? Oh, I should have played this first. I need somewhere to put the counter if they do block. They don't block. Mono red doesn't. No, no, no. Son of a. I messed up. It's gonna punish me too. Because this Heliod's never gonna turn on. If I had played this first. Ah. Alright, come on, top deck Linden. Let's go. It's my. Linden is my Embercleave. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, Luris. Luris will do as well. Luris would be nice. You know what the problem is? I killed my opponent's Robber of the Rich, so now there's nothing to remove the land from the top of my deck. I guarantee that's what's about to happen. Hush. Okay. That turns off the death effect. Do we want to trade this for the Charger? I guess? Oh, this goes here. Now it's out of Bone Crusher range. Full graveyard for the bird. We don't want to block the bird. That Fervent Champion rumbling means either Rimrock Knight or Embercleave, guys. Or maybe a Shock, but no blocks. Okay, that's not an Embercleave. You know, drawing a Giant Killer would be really nice. Actually, drawing almost any card in my deck that isn't a land or a Heliod would be really nice. Like, so much of our deck is live right here. Pretty good. If it is a Bone Crusher Giant, that's bad, but I think we go for it and hope it's a Rimrock Knight. Yep, that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Again? Instead of casting Bone Crusher? Did you draw land? What? Oh, yeah, okay. Man, Magic's easy. Although drawing a land is one of the best things we could hope for, but you see, the red deck just never quits. Like, it has infinite value in its cards. Every card is a 2-for-1. Everything does like 3 things at once. Get him. Repair that life total, baby. Repair that life total. We need to chump. We can give this life link. Yay, they drew land. Okay. And they're attacking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Make it bigger. Come on. Come on. We're fighting. We're clawing. We're clawing. We don't want to become a blocker against the Phoenix of Ash that can just come back from the graveyard. Or against the deck that always top decks Embercleave when you know you need a block. 6, 7 lifelink. Another land. We can go up to 9, but then we die. All right. What you got? At least it's big enough to take on the Phoenix now. Nine freaking lands. The robber helped so much. Okay. Let me guess, you only play one way? I should have cast this. The opponent's gonna steal my Giant Killer, just watch. I should have just cast this to get rid of it. Because we know it's not going anywhere the entire game, but I guess there's a world where we have enough devotion where we gain pseudo vigilance by casting the other one and giving up the first one. Also, I'm just gonna lose because I didn't play that speaker pre-combat. That was a huge mistake. And nothing? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Can't attack. Not gonna make that mistake this turn. So am I dead now? I see 9 damage and I see 7 that the opponent gets through. Okay, not quite dead. This draw has been bad, but I did make a misplay, so if I lose, I kind of earned it. Just you? All right. Do they have a way to kill this? I mean, I have to block. It's forced. They must have a frostbite as well, right? Yeah, it has to be frostbite or Rimrock Knight. And then I have no good draws, I don't think. Luris? Yeah, Luris could get me back in it still. Luris and I'm alive. That's what it's gonna take. Wow. Oh well. So, definitely just missing that point with the speaker I think cost me, but that draw was wretched. Absolutely wretched. God, does it hurt to lose that way. On the draw, no 2-drop. Pretty bad 1-drop and a lot of 3s against rogues, probably. I guess we have to draw into another 1 or 2-drop, and the hand is good. But having a bunch of 3s on the draws against rogues is really bad most of the time. All right, not rogues. Mono black, probably. Let's get this on the field. Hopefully they don't have an Eidolon and a deadweight. And if they're gonna kill it, let's make them kill it before they draw their Eidolon. Free booties. Found my maul. All right, big draw step coming up. Can we put more pressure on the board? Another giant killer. We could save this one. The opponent has an Archfiend's Vessel, but they didn't attack with it. Let's save it, I think. Like, eventually this probably comes back to become a 5/5. Now, maybe waiting around for that's the wrong move, but I can at least prevent some damage here. We don't really want to tap the giant killer when the kite sail attacks, because then they'll attack with the vessel, which gains them a life and does the same amount of damage. This looks like my mono black Eidolon deck that I featured a little while ago, which is probably a good matchup for them, but they don't have an easy way to deal with Heliod. So Heliod's our best chance. Ooh, that might be very good against them, actually. But I want to protect it. I really want to protect it. Let's get the Heliod down. They do have Pelika's Predation, and they just played one of them as a land, but that's something that could take a Heliod, right? Yeah. Oh, Village Rites. Here we go. Draw 2. Let's see if they have a Call the Death Dweller to get that back. Or an Agadeem's Awakening. Here's the Eidolon. Oh boy. Here comes the removal on the Giant Killer. Easy mode. So our plan is to play Linden and attack. Well, we can't attack with the Heliod unless we draw land. Oh man. The awkward thing here is you don't want to play things that die to like Mire's Grasp, and there's already one right there. But I think that this is the play we have to make. We could play 2 things, but I guess this turns off the draw from one of these. Okay, they just use Mire's Grasp on the Giant Killer, which means they don't have Deadweight. Do they have another Myers Grasp is the question I have to ask myself. All right, let's give it a shot. Please don't Myers Grasp this. Please. All right, you're mauling. And another Myers Grasp. All right, I need a land. I need a land. I got a land. Smork, counter here, stop the future Myers Grasp. Wow. Wow. Just wow. If you're a fan and you're watching this, don't play the land before combat. I can't make that block if I think you're going to have like a way to deal 1 more damage to this. And the -1, the +2/-1 enchantment is an example of that. So if you hold this till after combat, you get to hit my face there. All right. I don't have a way to gain life this turn. I'm already very vulnerable to this Hateful Eidolon. I guess I do have a way to gain life. I can give this lifelink. I think that the right play, though, is this. Now, at least if they kill the Hushbringer, they don't get to draw. If they do it with an aura, that is. And if they do kill one of these, Lurrus can get it back. If we draw a land, it can get the Hushbringer back. And the opponent is on the march to Tybalt. Would they have played Valky earlier if they had it? Maybe. Yep, there's that card. They did have it. They can actually bring it back. But they don't get to draw cards because of the Hushbringer. Oh, they run Kroxa. That just gives them a Kroxa. But we have Giant Killer. So it could be worse. We can tap it. We need to gain the life so we can start growing things. Seems bad for me. Well, it stopped card draw for a minute, but I think we're going to get completely drowned out in this matchup. Oh my goodness. God. It just doesn't stop. Every card they've drawn has been good. Every single card. Even the lands. So, we can play Lurrus here. And we can get back Speaker. But it doesn't matter, because they're just going to cast from their graveyard and dominate. So, I'm leaving. Pretty lucky to have, I think Kroxa is a bad inclusion in the deck, if I'm being really honest. I don't like it at all. Because you need double red, and this deck needs a ton of black mana. And you got pretty lucky, like in this case, to run up against somebody who had the Hushbringer out. I do like that Kroxa is good in a place where Hushbringer is good, because the rest of your deck is vulnerable to it, but I'd still think this is a bad call. Can't be on the play. This hand would be so good. As it is, it's just mediocre, because I don't know if we'll ever get to attack. This is mono red. They don't have anything here. Let's go for the lifelinker. And ta-da, Frostbite. I'm so used to being able to check for shock, but you can't check for Frostbite. Oh, it's Foretell. Okay. Well, let's see if you're ready for the Aspirants. Brazen Borrower and Bonecrusher Giant are good against them. So this is not great. See? Magic's easy. See if they counter this. Play this to tap their dragon when the time comes. Okay, they counter that. Next turn we can play it off the Lurrus. But yeah, they know the strategy. Keep their dragon from doing dragon things. So how perfect is your hand? You've already had 2 Frostbites, 3 Frostbites on the play in the aggro matchup. That's really fortunate. How perfect is your hand? Wow. Like, stack your deck. That's your hand against me. Well, you didn't have the dragon, so there is some justice in the world, I guess. They do have the Haven here, so we have to be careful about running our dog into painful spots. They might counter this. They don't know about the Linden. They're unlikely to have the 4th Frostbite. Well, nice. All right, so attacking with the dog gives us a counter. We can put 2 counters on the dog so it trades with Haven, but we want to keep the dog around. Oh, okay. Now you get no giant. Don't know about that play. We could protect Linden from the 4th Frostbite, but I don't think it's worth it. Let's take the damage. This should be a good matchup for us. We were on the draw, and our opponent had all the cheap interaction they could want, and we still beat them. Shows you, like, how awkwardly positioned the Dragon Tempo deck is. All right, we are on the play. I think we're going Savior, Hushbringer, trying to go Savior, Hushbringer, Linden, but we have no payoff. We have no Speaker, and we have no Heliod. So we need to draw one of those things. Otherwise, Hushbringer is going to have to, like, solo, which is asking a lot of the little fairy. All right, Alcide. I think we get this out right away and start working on the size of all of our creatures, and we get this out next turn to stop a Skyclave Apparition, because I don't think it will stop anything on their turn 2. But if they have Luminarch Aspirant, we want our creatures to be larger. So, let's see. We don't want them to be able to attack with the Bounty. Let's put the counter on the Aspirant itself and hold back the Savior. Two giant killers in this matchup. Is that going to be good? If they play the one of Legion Angel, it might be good. I guess they Sky Maul things. Size definitely matters. Second Bounty. Okay. And a dog of your own. Okay. So, getting Linden down is an option, but I think I want to get the Hushbringer down to play around the Skyclave Apparitions, which are their primary removal. And then we need to start growing it with the Aspirant, and let's get down one of the giant killers. Opponent taking it all in. Maybe they're contemplating a scoop. Yep, we've got to start increasing the size of this because of Sky Maul. Opponent's gone 1-drop, 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 and now they have their 3-drop Hammer. They want Maul the Skyclaves. It's usually the big one. They might have Redain. Okay. Got him. Got him. Finally, Hushbringer hits its true target. Good draw. So I don't even know that I want Linden. Not until I have Heliod, really. I guess it's a good setup for Heliod. And we do have the dog. But I could also have a bounty on the field and tap something. Nah, Linden's a pretty good blocker. We may as well gain this life and keep making our Hushbringer epic. But we do still need a payoff. We need a Heliod or a Speaker. If we get one of those, we should be able to run away with this game. Luris wouldn't be bad either, to just recur Alseid of Life's Bounty and go to work that way. Okay. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent 1. Whenever you or a permanent you control is the target of a spell or ability, counter it unless they pay 1. So I have to remember to pay 1 more for my Giant Killer, for the tap down or the cast ability. That's the tricky part. And another Giant Killer is not really what I want to see. But let's play the bounty. We can prevent their Giant Killer, as I'm sure they'll have one. Let's just stay airborne, I guess, for now. I'm not that afraid of their Giant Killer because I have the Savior. We can attack here. If the opponent blocks with like 3 creatures, then I only get to kill... If ever it would be dealt. Yeah, so if I spread damage out, this actually wrecks it pretty good. Because if I like deal 1/1/1, I actually deal 0/0/0 because of the shield. So we'll just keep on being the Air Force here. If they had a Skymole, they would have played it. I am kind of surprised they played the shield, to be honest. Let's get another Giant Killer down. It's going to be a while before we can use both of them, but I think it's better than having it stuck in hand. Also, if they make a flying blocker, we just tap it. Keep the attack going. Or we try to. I guess they have a lot of bodyguard effects going. Another Hushbringer. All right, they passed the turn. We might see the Giant Killer here. Although, if I were them, I would have probably just cast it, because they're never going to actually resolve the spell part. All right, that's a hit. What are they doing? Nothing? Actual nothing? All right, I'll play the other Hushbringer. We've got protection up. A little more flying damage. 33-10. Like, you gotta do something. You can't just play these lands and havens. They could start attacking with the havens. They would kind of be throwing them away. The Savior would protect from 1. I can also just take the hit. All right, they've got the Skymole. Skymole on the Apparition. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, it still doesn't size up against this Hushbringer. All right, am I to where I can lethal? If they like want to set a big block on this, they would still take 1, 2, 3, 4, block this, 5, 6, 7. What if I sacrifice the bounty? This gets through. 5, 6. So 6 gets through. Then they can block here, 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 and here. 7, 8. So not lethal. Not lethal. All right, let's see if we can tap this. If the opponent uses a bounty to protect, the maul falls off, and they're down one bounty. All right, so now they have 2 life they gain, and they go to 12, and they block here, 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 and here. Then they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still not enough. Let's start building up the other Hushbringer. If we attack here, they can block with all and kill it, and they go up to 12. Would they die? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They would. They would. So I think we try. The problem is they have some really good blocks, right? Because of the shield, it actually prevents a damage, so they can trade with my 1/1s pretty well. So I think we just do it like this. And we don't want to give them the free life that they would gain from blocking with the bounties either. And this just kills them next turn. And since I can't find a way this turn, there's no reason to give up any more material. And it's 40-5. Like, I probably overthought that. It's just the chat effect. It's the comments effect. I don't want anybody telling me I miss lethal. I just don't want them telling me I miss lethal, man. What I should know is they're going to do that anyway. Aren't you? You're already typing it. You're already saying I miss lethal. Even though I didn't. Either they don't remember the lifelink, or they don't remember the shield, or something. All right. Boom. Nice, quick, easy rank. And we are back for the post-game wrap, and yep, definitely a killing machine is this deck. It sawed right through the first 2 levels of Platinum for me. I think we're gonna share the second level within the video, but yeah, in under 2 hours, I ranked up 2 ranks, so Diamond by tomorrow, probably, and so on. Pretty great deck for the climb. And right now, the perfect deck for the meta, because indeed, mono red is out there, mono white is out there, and those are extremely winnable matchups. And I also beat the Yorion decks I ran into, 2 out of 3, with one being Cultivate into Shadow's Verdict, and the other 2 being not having the Shadow's Verdict, and we were able to win. So I think this deck is exactly as predicted, the right deck to climb at the moment. Once it's all over the ladder, maybe we can bring Yorion back, and my evil plan comes to true fruition. And it doesn't require crafting any new cards. So those of you who might have been on the fence didn't craft a bunch of those new cards, you're probably going to be excited to see this. Dust off mono white life. Now is the time, and it's my #1 pick for climbing ladder in this season, March 2021. Tomorrow we're going to do another deck that I think is good for ladder right now. In fact, that's probably the theme of the week. We're probably going to do 4 decks that aren't necessarily new and innovative, but are incredibly strong and will help you climb the ladder quickly. So that's the plan for this week. So on that note, get out there, sleeve it up, and tear some people to shreds, and may you win a lot of coin flips and go first often. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.